Now, for more on the press conference, we are now joined in the studio by our studio guest, Mr. Liu Baocheng, the Dean of the Center for International Business Ethics at the University of International Business and Economics. Welcome to the program, Mr. Liu. But there was much uncertainty being seen in both domestic and international markets. And what are the major challenges that China faced in the past year?
Well, number one, we experienced the stock market turmoil in the last year. So we had a sort of a roller coaster approach, and there a huge damage to the consumer confidence. So how to revive that now with the change of the chairman for the Regulatory Commission, and we hope that we see some light in the tunnel. Then economic slowdown was always the case, but actually we achieved 6.9%, which is not really bad. It was actually a stellar performance compared with the other major economies around the world. Foreign trade was also a big slump. But still, we maintained the biggest foreign exchange reserve country, and also we are the number one in the trading of goods, so that's not bad. One Belt, One Road, it was a very roaring initiative, but a clear roadmap need to be further delineated, so that people will see what are the policy objectives and what are the pros and cons, and also the risk assessment need to be further carried out in order to sort of help companies to circumvent certain pitfalls along the overseas investment program.
Right, and talking about the light in the tunnel, what changes can we expect to see in the year 2016 concerning all that?
Well, this year there is still looming uncertainty going on, and we expect some spotlights like Chinese urbanization that help to push forward the lackluster type of real estate industry, which will also be contributing to many other related industries if the urbanization process is carried out in an expeditious fashion. And then the further reform in the Chinese industrial structure, particularly on the supply side. So that will help to alleviate the excessive capacity, and in the meantime, there is more market-driven innovation, market-driven manufacture. So that we hope to have a good news. And then the Chinese stock market, hopefully it's going to be more stabilized, and more of the stock performance will be related to the real performance of those companies with the tightened rule of law, and with also tightened rule of governance within the firm. And then deepened reform in the financial market is highly expected. And during the press conference, and lots of questions have been asked about how we are going to roll out the experiences accumulated over the Chinese free trade zone, so that we can see more opening. So lastly, I think further integration with the world economy is going on. One Belt, One Road initiative is going through a very critical phase, and now the RCEP is also on the agenda to further integrate China into Asia. And then free trade agreements with many more countries are being more implemented on a very practical level. So these are the positive news. And if you see the major economies like US, the stock and also the market performance and industrial manufacturer service, they are now on a quick recovery. So hopefully Chinese export market will be able to have a more relaxed time.
We'll wait and see. And as mentioned on the press conference, that consumption is still the #1 drive for China's economy. And actual data from the Ministry of Commerce says the retail sales in China grew above 11%, especially during the week-long Spring Festival period. And what do those data tell you?
Well, definitely this is really in conformity with the Chinese structural change. We shift more into consumption-driven instead of the investment-driven type of approach. And now, but this rise, we have to be aware of the fact that there is more cyclical feature where during every Spring Festival period of time, the retail sector will rise with a big spike, but whether that's going to be sustained. So it's pretty much dependent on number one, the consumer confidence. And so when they get out of the festive mood, so will they continue to spend more? And the other is also the supply side, whether we are really catering to the real need with the right of quality and also with the right type of post-service. So e-commerce is having a big push for the Chinese circulation sector, but e-commerce doesn't really improve on the real quality of the products. So therefore, how we can really integrate the quality control from designing to manufacturing and then to the delivery and after-sales service. So this is something that we can see that that is sure to shore up the consumer demand on the other side. So the overall, we can see that when the service is taking a larger share of the Chinese the GDP portfolio, retail shall continue, and it is also good to see that the inflation factor is not a pressure on China. 1.7 is not really a big thing. So consumption growing was lower the CPI, so that's a healthy sign to the economy.
To some extent, it shows the confidence from both the buying side and the supplying side.
That's right. So the consumers, when they are willing to open their purse on a rational basis, so that's a confidence from them. And that, in return, will also give more confidence to the manufacturer side.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Liu Baocheng from the University of International Business and Economics.